All right, refresh your page.
And then do I go to the live section?
It should just start up live. And hopefully I've got a chat room there. Down below it should be a chat room, which I'll pop out. And that's right here. Pop out. All right, so I have a chat room right here. I should be able to see everything. All right, testing. Can you hear me out there, OMNIacs? If you can, let me know. And in my trading room, this should be your link. Let me give that to you now. In my live trading room, that's your YouTube link.
All right, I see.
All right. So, of course, we're waiting for some traders to show up. Mike, check that link I put in the room. Make sure that that will actually bring you to this live session.
Yep.
Okay, good. So we have chat room, testing. Is everybody with me today? Very good. All right, so I basically will just spend the afternoon hanging out with you guys watching these markets. If you recall, last night's video was basically about buying the dips in E-mini S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, if you can get a fill. So right now, we're long, we bought dips, and we're looking for the upside. I think the S&P chart kind of shows us, as long as it doesn't break from here, that it is liking what it's seeing. Look at this S&P chart, right? You got above what could have been a double top. Putting in a decent day today so far. Started the day off lower in a bull market. That usually means you go higher in the afternoon. And is there a camera? Can you actually see and hear me as well? Because I've added a camera into this mix, which I usually don't do. But I'm going to spend some time doing this today. You might as well be able to converse with me. So is there a camera on in the bottom left corner? Yes, thank you. Cool. All right. So transportation average has a completely different look today than everything else. Look at this guy. Ever since it broke out of the pennant, nice fat rally. Today's bar, look, it's a red turnaround bar. But you don't have that, right? Look at the ES. We don't have a red turnaround bar in ES. You don't have one in the Dow. Right, look at this Dow. This is today's. That's the Dow chart. I'll bring it into focus. You can see more of it. Dow Jones Daily. And once it got above that resistance, it just exploded. That resistance right there. It just exploded, and it looks great today. So odd that you've got the transportation average pointing straight down and the Dow pointing straight up. I'm going to DND this phone so I don't hear it ringing anymore, guys. And the NASDAQ is sort of in the middle today. NASDAQ's a little wishy-washy today. With your NASDAQ, you know, smartly now above the F flag. But, look, red bar. So a lot of divergence today. Right, we've got some green bars straight up in the indices, and then you look at other sister indices, and they're red bars straight down. You've got a decent amount of divergence taking place in the markets today. And then look what the gold did. The gold had a monstrous day today. Look, take this away. Look at the size of today's bar in gold. Big outside reversal to the upside in gold, turning this into a very valid flag, to be honest. Because it just tested it on the downside, and instead of breaking, it held and went straight back up. See that? Gold held this and went straight back up, all the way back to the top of it. So that, my friends, looks pretty good. And likely because the dollar is getting hammered. Let me just label this, because that's an ugly chart, and show you the resistance right here. So you've got resistance that it ran into this morning. You are, well, let me just label it once again so that you know what we're looking at. Looking at our dollar, you know, how could you possibly like this? All right, I mean, it's not in the right direction right now. Below the 50 bar moving average, had an outside reversal day to the downside, opposite of gold. You got to think they're leaning on the dollar a little. You want to throw a fundamental in there. There's chatter, speak, rumor, whatever you want to call it, on the street that the Fed's going to do one more 25-point rate hike and then go into a hold mode where they do nothing. If that's the case, the dollar will go down because there's less need to buy dollars to go and buy U.S. bonds. So a lot of foreign entities will come in and buy dollars when we raise interest rates so that they can take advantage of those high interest rates. But if we stop raising them, there's less need to rush off and buy you U.S. dollars. So there is a fundamental behind what's going on the dollar. And then, of course, the euro is the opposite. Euro's doing the opposite work right now. Let's label this. So when you look at your euro, you've got the exact opposite, which makes sense, look that the dollar had. You are in an uptrend, and you are above the 50 bar moving average. And if you wanted to sort of force this into a flag, you can. Look, watch this. It's not a flag, it's just unorthodox. Because you've got the top of it. And we'll call that the bottom of it, even though it's probably a little higher. Right, so if you go like this, and you drop a little flagpole right here, you know, it's some kind of weird looking, I don't know what type flag thing. And then, of course, you can always adjust it for this, but that doesn't make sense, right? So that one doesn't work. And I think this one's a little smarter. And we'll just call it some kind of a weird flag right there. So whatever it is, it's happening above the 50 bar moving average, which again was opposite of the dollar, which is all happening below. Let's see what else was catching my attention. So this guy, I was surprised they didn't just destroy silver today. Because the look of silver, you had, here, let me see if I can show you. This is what silver looked like on Friday. Silver's close is right here, so let me just write what it is. Hi, go. So this is silver's close on Friday, right? And take a look at what gold looked like on Friday. This is today's bar, so we're going to take it away and just show you Friday. So this was the look of gold on Friday. and it dropped a lot from its highs. And the look, well, there it is. And the look of silver was this. Removed today. Like completely opposite looks, right? When I saw that, I went, oh no, something's not right about that. But instead, the gold came rushing back. Silver was saved. So silver's actually having another up day. Well, it will in a moment because it went down, rallied all the way back up, and right now, this little dash right here, as soon as you get above that dash, this bar turns green. So, starting to show more strength than it looked like it would be able to have over the weekend. So where's my YouTube chat room? It doesn't make noise. I can't tell if you guys are speaking with me or not. So join the YouTube chat room to ask questions. All right. So I normally spend my day watching a ticker board like this one in front of you. I do not really look at the charts during the day. A presentation like this, of course, I'll present charts to my fans that are following and traders out there. But I watch a ticker board. I don't really have a need for charts during the day. I use my charts to come up with my analysis in the evening for the next day. Then I sort of put them away until the market closes, and I take charts back out again once the market closes. So this is what I look at. I'm a tape watcher. I just watch the rotations and can trade off the rotations on the tape. I don't know how many of you guys are tape watchers out there, but this is what I like to watch during the day. And of course, there's more. Look at how many quotes there are on here. You can just go on forever. I mean, there's quotes forever and ever. So we do expect some sort of a, late afternoon rally, mid-afternoon rally, back towards the highs again. I mean, S&P is not very far from its highs right now. Let's see, anybody close to their highs at the moment? Nothing else. Any thoughts on Apple? Sure. Always thoughts on Apple. Yes, Mikey, you can say stuff out loud. We're just sitting here live doing our thing, so of course you can say whatever you want. Well, I don't know about whatever you want, but you can speak out loud. So let's go take a look at the Apple chart, sure. Apple, that would be here. So let's go take a look at the Golden Cross. Let's light up to 200 because I don't see it lit up. So of course this is a chart that we've looked at in the past, but look at here. You've had your Golden Cross right about there. Believe me, the street's watching this. I've been telling you this since February when this started, and we've been going up since then. Of course, nothing goes straight up. So you had your Golden Cross in Apple. It has stayed inside of this wonderful channel. You had your bull flag. It broke out above the bull flag, tested the channel, rallying up smartly. I say you buy pullbacks in Apple. So it's got room to rotate inside of this channel that's building, but it looks pretty solid to me. So what channel I'm referring to is this one here. It's building some kind of a channel right here. There's plenty of room to rotate inside of the channel as it moves higher, so you buy decent dips, and I think you'll be okay in Apple. A Bitcoin question, huh? Let's see what you got. Bitcoin, we're still in May, right? find out in a moment. Oh, please don't trash my system. You know, let's go to a different chart for this. I think I have a continuous chart. Ethereum's right here. So Bitcoin will be here as well. All right, so for Bitcoin, all I'm going to do is expand the flag. So let's just make it a little bigger and encompass this stuff. And that's basically all I'm going to do with this is just watch the flag grow. So, of course, you could pull this in and call that the top of the flag with one breakthrough. But let's just put it up there and give Bitcoin some time to do its thing. But that is a bull flag inside of a bull channel, which is this big channel right here. Bull channel, bull flag, above the 200 bar moving average. I don't see anything wrong with Bitcoin. Once again, like the stocks, you're a buyer of dips. If crude spikes, why are solar stocks down? Well, you know, if you read the papers, solar stocks have been down. And over the weekend, they mentioned that solar stocks have been getting clobbered due to high interest. A lot of these solar companies have, you know, they have a lot of debt, or they've issued, which is why they have debt, they've issued bonds at a much lower rate than today. And that's a big problem when rates go up, especially for these high-tech companies. FSLR, you like that one for the solar company? Let's go look at it. That's Dano in the trading room talking about. You can't hate that, right? I mean, how could you hate that look? I don't know if you like it today, but you can't possibly hate this. It's FSLR, right? It's First Solar, if I remember, but there's a lot of solar companies. I think that's First Solar. So that looks pretty darn good. How could you not like that chart, right? So right off the bat, without me drawing any simple channels, you can see them with your eyes, right? I mean, these things are all over the place. So you got channels popping in every direction here. You had this one for a while. You outgrew this one. And now another one's growing, right? You're starting to do channels this way. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. And this thing, if you ask me, is just an F flag with the flagpole here. Right, so you got an F flag sitting there. It can gyrate inside the F flag, but overall, you know what I mean? You've got just the overall look is bullish. Let me just get these lines where I want them, and then we'll extend. The overall look obviously is bullish. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of that and start with a fresh one, make life easier. Look at that, huh? Look at that symmetrical. Let me make that another color for you. Look how symmetrical that channel is. Look at that, huh? It hits all the tops. It catches the bottoms. It's in the right angle. It's just perfect. What a nice channel on FSLR. So you'd have to buy really deep dips. I'm like typing really deep dips. Like really deep would be from 209 down to 198. You know what I'm saying? You got to buy deep dips. Well, not if you already own it. That's true, Dano. I'm with you on that, brother. Well, you can always add to your positions. For day trading, do you watch the Russell 2000 S&P percentage? No. I don't let the percentages get me. I just watch. Look, I watch the net change from yesterday's close to today's close. That's what's more important to me than the actual percentage of movement. So I just want to, and then the rest of it I do, I calculate out the rest of it, but I'm more inclined to want to see net change than I want to see percent change. So we, Johnny, I sit here and do this, I don't know, all day, all night. This is Live with Oscar. Not quite live with Oscar. So we actually have a live trade on at the moment, but there's really no need to show that to you guys because I don't give out my actual trades to the general public. I give them to specific people around the world. So I won't show you the live trade, maybe as we're getting out, but we're always here trading every day. And if you guys want to hang out with me, I have set up my live streaming so I can basically spend, as of last week, speaking with Cox Communications, shout out to them, I now have completely unlimited streaming, so I can just do whatever I want here. I was having a little trouble with it last month. So I have no stats on how many people have tuned in. I probably could find them if I hit a refresh on the page over here. Let me see what I can do. And this way, at least I know who I'm speaking with. Oh, I don't know how to tell. There's too many things to look at. Oh, you like the Netflix chart? Let's see if it's still around. I think we still have it. Oh, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. That was a beautiful setup that we set that up with. What else was there? NVIDIA, right? And look at that one go. That's just insanity. Look at how nice NVIDIA looks. Tell you what, this really, really mattered to the street. I know when I brought it up a month or so ago, of course, when the market's going down, people are freaking out. So no matter what you tell them about the upside, they don't want to hear it. But from what I've seen, after these golden crosses, these stocks have started to go. Every time we get one, it appears that stock starts to go. Hey, is the YouTube still running? Because I did a refresh. I don't know what I did to it. I'm not sure what happened. Somehow I got knocked out of my own stream on YouTube. All right, that's my chat room, right? Thank you. Thank you, Dano. All right, so NVIDIA. Certainly all I can say so far is everything we have looked at, I want to be a buyer of dips in except for the dollar. Which index is at the moment the leader? So it was NASDAQ up until Friday, and I have to say, right now it's been the E-mini S&P. It was actually Russell this morning, all morning, and now S&P seems to have taken leadership. Really nobody, it's just bouncing around. Anytime, my friend, anytime. Thank you, Raccoon. I'm typing in captcha so you guys can see what I type, or at least I could spot it. Are there two chat rooms? I'm watching two different chat rooms here. How come? Mike, you just typed?
Out a second.
Mikey stepped out a second?
Yeah.
I see 2 different chat rooms open, guys. 2 YouTube chat rooms. Which one is the current one? Let's see. Yeah, because the last thing I see in one of the chat rooms is thank you from Johnny. And in another chat room, it's Dano. What is going on here? All right, I'm just going to stay there. Whatever this one is, I'm getting rid of it. I don't understand it. There's 2 of them on, though, right now. Cool.
I see it, Chad. I see it.
Yeah. Well, see, there's this one, right? But oddly enough, there's this other one running down here. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have done that. I just HD'd my screen. It'll come back in a moment in HD mode.
Wait, now you have.
See, there's like 2 chat rooms. I was trying to show them both to you, but it put my computer in HD mode, which I will turn it back into normal mode now for you. Back to normal.
It's the same, but doubled.
What are the chances that KC will fill that oil will fill the gap? You know, first thing I thought of when I seen it open last night was, when are we going to fill this gap? Let's go look at it. Will we fill the gap? So, interestingly enough, it literally opened right above the top of the pennant line. You see that? That's where it opened last night. The close was down here on Friday. Sunday night's opening was down here. Crazy, right? Look at that gap. So if you look at, let's just answer this question ourselves together. We have a gap right here, right? So we'll identify it. Let me get rid of some other stuff on here. And this was absolutely wrong. We can get rid of that call. So we've got a gap right here. And we're going to leave these bars. We'll turn them, I don't know, some color that will make sense to us. I'll make them red. I'll get rid of this. And we're going to go on a little hunt. All right, so we know we have a gap here. Follow me. Follow this red circle. See any gaps? None, right? Let's go back further now. No gaps. No gaps. Just little teeny one right here. Was filled almost immediately a few days later. A little teeny one here was filled the very next day. No gaps. No gaps. No gaps. Okay, a little gap here filled the next day, or just about 2 days later. And once it starts to get hokey over here, it doesn't matter anymore. So I guess the answer to that, there's only one answer to that. Yeah, it's going to fill its gap. Right? Looks like it will fill it. According to what we just looked at together, I don't see why that wouldn't fill the gap.
I have another question. Hi, Oscar. Is there currently a down gap today on the NASDAQ? Seems like it.
A down gap? Not quite a gap. Here, let's go to a different chart for that. Not quite a gap. Look. It's not quite a gap. What it is it just came back down. See what I'm saying? There's no gap there at all. A gap literally leaves a space between the settlement and the opening of the next bar, like like we saw in crude, but there's no gap here at all.
Oh, your mic's out.
My mic is out.
Now it's not. When you were showing.
Oh, yeah, when I speak, you'll see a meter, and when I don't, it goes out. Thank you, doll. Okay. Thank you for all the videos, and, well, my pleasure, Johnny. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being here. And Vic from Orlando, with Russia and Saudi not wanting to deal with U.S. oil, definitely going to be well, there is this. How long do you think we can go? Let's go back to oil. How long do you think we can allow the price of oil to spike up while we have ample reserves, we have ample ways to get crude to the market, and we can save ourselves in this snap of a finger, because it doesn't matter if we had to rebuild infrastructure to get oil out. If our U.S. president even uttered the words, we are now going to start producing more, it would end, the price of crude would be $40 in a snap. So we have the wherewithal to make it cheaper. So because we have that, how long do you think we will put up with this going up before Americans start getting cranky about it? We know we have oil. We're not allowed to get to it. How long do you think we're going to put up with this before we get cranky? And then once we get cranky, you'll see what they'll do. They'll start producing more oil. It's not the oil companies. They'd love to produce, but right now, we have an administration that's not really in favor of it. But I am telling you that has to change if the price continues higher, because we do have it, and we're not stupid people. You know what I'm saying? We might be doing something a little crazy right now, but we're not stupid. We'll kick the oil out if necessary. So I wouldn't worry too much about oil just running away. We have plenty of it. We've got the capacity to move it. We've got the wherewithal. We are ready for it. So yes, it could, but we can alleviate the pain. And if anybody wants to get reelected in this country, you're going to have to alleviate that pain sooner or later, right? So then we have the wherewithal to do such. It's just a stunt at the moment.
Oops, sorry. Could I ask a question?
Sure.
You look like a kung fu movie. When you speak and your mouth moves.
Oh, it's slower?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so there's latency?
I guess.
I have to check the latency settings and see if they've changed.
See?
Oh, well, there has to be a little bit of latency,
Yeah.
but it should only be about 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
YouTube forces me to have some
I
latency.
thought it was a kung fu movie.
No, but it could be a Saturday afternoon kung fu movie. Let's see if I can leap onto the ceiling from here. So even though, yes, we can go a long time with crude going up, they're not going to let it go up too far, because Americans are going to start getting very angry about that. Now, I know that we have short-term memories, but if you just think about the price of oil about 2.5 years ago, we can certainly have cheap oil in this country if we'd like to make the price of oil cheap. It's absolutely possible. There is no shortage of oil. It's
When we were filling
just
up
the way
an
we're treating
SUV
it.
for $35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. So again, we have the capacity to make this go away. We just need somebody a little more willing to allow us to do it. It'll happen eventually. Listen, there's always going to be a thing. There's always a thing in what we do, right? Always, always, always. Imagine if you were a trader back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. You had all the wars and all the Cold War. There's always a thing, right? There's just a thing now. There's always going to be a thing. Now our thing is China, Russia, blah, blah, blah. There's always a thing happening. Banks failing. There's always something going on. The price of crude coming down has not transferred to the price we pay at the pump. You know how this works, Willie. When the price of crude goes up, the price at the pump goes up the very same day. When the price of crude goes down, the price at the pump stays exactly the same. Well, why would you lower the price of crude? Well, why would you lower the price of your gas when crude goes lower? When you raise the price of your gas when crude goes higher, why would you play the other side of that equation? It's like we're stuck with these jerks. Why would they lower it when they don't have to? When other gas stations do, the competition gets involved, Oh, gas is going to go up a lot after what just happened here. I mean, it's really not gone anywhere. It was in the 80s 2 weeks ago, then it was in the 60s, now it's back in the 80s. It really hasn't gone anywhere. Yeah, well, if you look at gasoline, I see it, Mike, look at the price of gasoline. I'm going to move over to it. Let me go from April to May. The price of gasoline on the open market is $2.75 right now. So for us to be paying more than $1 over that is a catastrophe.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Do I trade pairs? So no, not quite pairs. You have pretty large gains in what? Because there is one spot where you got to watch for a double top, but we're not there yet. You mean the ES double top? I mean, could turn out to be one, but not if we go higher today. There's going to be a double top. Oh, WPM. Let's go look. Let's see if I can pull up a chart of it. That couldn't possibly be the same thing you're looking at. Because nobody would be worried about that. Let's go to the weekly. Gotcha. 5183. So what happened at the last double top? Did it react? It went through and it absolutely reacted. All right, so two things I want to show you about this chart now that you've asked me to look at it. And this is WPM, right? I want to make sure I get the right chart. Check this out. So, you got two things going on here. You have this, right? What you're just challenging right now. The day's not over, so it doesn't mean you've gotten above it. So you're challenging this right now. And you wanted to know about weekly, about the double top, right? So check this out. At the last double top, you had trouble, but it did work. So I'm going to make this smaller so it sort of gets out of our eyes. You had a top here, right? So let's go mess with it. And what happened after that top came in was it did actually double top out. You just went through it a little bit first, and then the double top played out. So with that in mind, you've got a possible another double top here, which the pattern, if you will, or at least the example we have, is that it goes through a little before coming back down. So yeah, I guess you expect to at least get up there, 5150 area, WPM. Test for your double top. You might get above it. Don't be fooled, because then it comes back down like it did here. So I think you have to be very cautious once you get up there. Take your profits. Anytime, sir. right. So if you're not seeing it, here's what our chat room looks like. If anybody wants to see what's going on in the YouTube chat room. Then, of course, I've got my live chat room that's always open, which you guys can come to. And, I'm always live on camera. Usually there's 2 camera views, but I'm using one right now, so I've only got the 1 camera view up. So if you guys want to join my trading room when I'm not doing a YouTube live, you can chat with me just the way we do on YouTube in my live trading room. Hey, what's up, Dano? All right, let's go take a look at the board. Oh, boy. We're turning red, baby. We need green today. We want this to go higher, but a couple of things. One, we were another few hundred points higher. NASDAQ was going to run into another double top. Look. Let's go with weekly. Right, let's make this a little bigger. We are going to see something happen. Let's get rid of some of these averages. They're in the way at the moment. We are going to see something happen. Get rid of this bad boy too. Here, when we get there in the NASDAQ. But that's all the way up at 13.7 and change. This will be our next hurdle on the upside NASDAQ. But you've got a few hundred points before you get there. And then we've got the holiday week. The end of this week is Easter. Will we get holiday reversals? Will we end up with holiday reversals? That's going to be tricky. I don't know if we're starting to get some in softs, like something like sugar. This has been going up for so long, it's something that should reverse, right? If you're going to get a reversal in something, you look at markets like this, because that's been going up for some time now, and we've got a holiday coming. However, it is sugar, and the holiday is Easter, right? So you can throw that one in. Let's see what coffee and cocoa are doing. That's not going to work. That will. It's not reading what I'm typing. Just bring me this chart. See, it's bringing up something that I'm not typing. That's weird. Cotton. See what cotton's doing. Really nothing happening in cotton at the moment. Nothing I would mess with. No opinion there. But why did that sugar not come up? Come on, sugar, show me. Sugar did coffee. All right, coffee finally showed up. Really not much going on there. It's kind of a big day for coffee, but not much going on there. We've seen metals, but we didn't look at copper. I don't know. A little bit of a flag, but I don't know. I don't really like copper here. No opinion in copper. The big maker of Easter bunnies had an explosion last week. No, I did not hear about that, Dano. I mean, I read every newspaper there was to read this weekend. I didn't stumble upon that story. That's odd. I didn't stumble upon it, is what I mean by odd. Hey, well, that's sorry to hear that. You never want to hear that. Could be worse. A couple of years ago, the Knish factory in Brooklyn burnt down. The Knish factory. The country didn't have Knishes across the whole country. No Knishes in New York City, not in any of the hot dog wagons. There's one Knish factory. That's that. What does that tell you? We had to wait for it to get rebuilt to get Knishes back. So today we get long Nasdaq. Target is 13,272. It goes up to 13,268 and drops. We have to wait. How stupid was that? Well, stops would have been at break even. Everything would have been wonderful. Seven dead, Jesus. Now, where was that factory? Oh, PA. Well, Hershey, of course. Where else would it be? In Hershey, PA, right?
Well, sad hearing stories like that.
Oh, no doubt. And you never want to hear stuff like that. You also don't want to hear new lows being made in NASDAQ either. Has anybody read about AI lately? Have they brought in Willy Wonka for questioning? Nah, he voted Democratic last year. He won't get arrested for nothing. Anybody read the papers about AI this weekend? Is there a bottom in natural gas? You know, Neil, I've been saying for the last 10 years that natural gas is a $2 item and belongs fixed at $2. All right, we had the Russian hoopla, but barring that, it's a $2 stock. It's a $2 product. Should be even less, but it's a $2 product. Anyway, I want to read you some stuff about AI, and yes, Elon Musk left an AI company for a good reason, to start his own. If you guys bear with me for a moment, I want to get an article. Mike,
Yeah.
you want to sit here for a moment? Because I got to step out.
No.
Let's come by and say hello. Mike, I promise you, they won't even recognize that I stepped away. You got my face. They won't even know, I promise. Let me just go, because I got to thumb through the newspapers for a minute to find that article. Have a seat, Junior. All right. You're looking at the new face in trading. Hey, Mikey. Applause for Mikey. So you have to read here. The other chat room's behind here. And then this is what I'm filming, and this is what it looks like on YouTube.
All right.
So the other chat room is just if you needed it, it's there. If you hear it, well, you could always see it over there, Mikey. Look to your left. Anything typed in the chat room will be there.
Okay, gotcha.
And your voice is on, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got it, Dano. You'll never know, JC. You just have to give it your best guess. 2001 in the gold. I'll take that. That's the year I was born. I have not seen it yet, but it looks really good, so I'm going to very soon. Especially how I just seen Goodfellas, and I love Casino. All right. Is that better? She starts out that way, but it gets pretty bad pretty fast for her. So how's everyone today? Well, it's a Monday, Dano. I'm sure a lot of us feel that way. It's alright. Yeah, definitely ended up crazy, but what a performance by Sharon Stone. Of course, crazy in the movie, but yeah. Hello, Mr. Thomas Abatino. No problem. Thank everybody. I thank everybody for helping me get mine done. Yep, Oscar looks just a little bit different today. It's his twin. Yeah, JC, I might be old enough to be her grandson. I'm only 22. All right. Yep. Just hit 22 a couple days ago.
You can stay. All right. Found some of the paper I was looking for.
Damn. Sad to hear that. I had a request to put the jacket on.
You go, man. You fell into a chocolate vat. Hey, if you're gonna go, I mean, what the hell? It's like falling into a vat full of women. Right below is the other chat room, but again, you'll see it on the left. A lot of stuff to control, right?
That is, yeah.
And you got to watch you don't bring anything up that you don't want to bring up. Although there's really nothing on my computer I wouldn't want people to see. I don't really have that worry.
Of course I get it, though. Emails or anything like that.
All right, so YM up 256, NQM down 123. What does that mean? How does that work? Your Instagram account. What's that mean, Dano?
What about it?
I need Mikey to take over my Instagram account. Well, Mike, you want to pull up TikTok and we'll dance?
Sure, let's get it started.
I've never used it. Not once. I've never pulled it up. I've never installed it. I've done anything with it.
Ah.
On my Instagram, all right, I'll do something about that. You know, every night when I put out a YouTube video, the first hour I get attacked by people like that. I have to spend the first hour just deleting nonsense. It happens every night.
Yeah, that's what Instagram's turned into. You look at comments on videos, sports videos, memes, anything, it's always full of those bot accounts. It's annoying.
You know, Neil, I have crossed this country using a map. I love using maps. I have always been a big Atlas fan. You drop a map in my hands, I'll get you where you gotta go. The difference is this. You don't miss exits with the GPS. You miss lots of exits when you map it out. You know, if you've ever mapped out a route, you always miss exits. Yeah, Dano, I'm sure that had something to do with it. You know, if we all could just write letters to YouTube and ask them to make this chat room have a sound, wouldn't it be so much better? When you know when someone types to you. I've got so much going on in my life, I can't just stare at it, you know what I mean? I need to know when someone types. No, I've tried. There's no settings anywhere.
All right. We'll let you take back over.
All right. Yeah, I got the AI article. Wall Street Journal. Shout out to Wall Street Journal. Is that what I'm looking at, by the way? I've read a lot of papers. Which one is it? Yeah, Wall Street Journal. So, it's 3 pages of stuff. I only want to get to what really caught my attention. All right, so God, there's so much of it. Where do I want to start this article? Let me, I don't want to bore you, so let me reread some of it. All right, let me just, I guess I have to read a lot, guys. I'm sorry. The possibilities of AGI, which is a company doing AI, have led Mr. Altman to entertain the idea that some similar technology created in our universe, according to billionaire venture capitalist Peter Thiel, a close friend of Mr. Altman, and an early donor to the nonprofit company. He has been a proponent of the idea that humans and machines will one day merge, and I think that's absolute as far as chips and stuff, no doubt there. ChatGPT's release triggered a stream of competing AI announcements. They've raced to release press releases, Mr. Altman said, of his competitors. Obviously, they're behind us now. Google announced it was testing its own chatbot called Bard in February and opened access to the public in March. OpenAI's headquarters in San Francisco, Mission District, evokes an affluent new age utopia more than a non-profit trying to save the world. It'll get better, I promise you. Mr. Altman gushes about the winding central staircase he conceived so that all 400 of his employees have a chance to pass each other daily, or at least on Monday through Wednesday when he's required in-person work. The offices include a self-serve bar, a library modeled after a combination of his favorite bookstore in Paris and the Bender Room, a quiet study space on the top floor of Stanford University's largest library. These are big hitters that are playing this game. Dressed in the typical tech CEO uniform of a gray hoodie, jeans, and a blindly white sneakers, Mr. Altman described much more modest upbringing. I'm not going to read that either. Okay, you know what? I will. When I read about his modest upbringing, I almost fell off. I almost fell off my chair. You want to hear about modest? I don't know if any of you have ever grown up poor, but here's his modest. Mr. Altman grew up in a suburb of St. Louis, the eldest of 4 children, born to Connie Gibstein, a dermatologist, and Jerry Altman, who was also a lawyer. He was the child of a doctor and a lawyer. He had a tough time growing up. Oh, the poor guy. Life must have been so difficult. Dear Lord, where do we find these people? All right. I don't want to read the garbage. Then they started a venture fund. Mr. Altman started a venture fund and made powerful allies Paul Graham, co-founder of Y Combinator, and eventually Mr. Altman. Where does this go? Oh, he eventually brought on Mr. Altman. Mr. Altman then helped the company grow into a Silicon Valley power broker. He invested his own money in dozens of successful companies, including a soft cloud, well, he calls it cloud software company, Asana, and message board Reddit Inc. he created. While running Y Combinator, Mr. Altman began to nurse a growing fear that large research labs like DeepMind, purchased by Google in 2014, are creating potentially dangerous AI technologies outside of the public eye. Mr. Musk had voiced, now we start getting into Elon. He was part of this company, by the way. Mr. Musk has voiced similar concerns. Messrs. Altman and Musk decided it was time to start their own lab. Both were part of a group that pledged $1 billion to the nonprofit OpenAI Inc. Mr. Musk didn't respond to requests for comments. Now, from here, although I had 3 other pages before I even got to this boring stuff, it starts to get better. The nonprofit that they created meandered in its own early years, experimenting with projects like teaching robots how to perform tasks like solving Rubik's Cubes and such. OpenAI researchers soon concluded that the most promising path to achieve artificial general intelligence rested in large language models, or computer programs that mimic the way humans read and write. And boy, it gets way deeper than that. Such models required massive amounts of computer power that OpenAI wasn't equipped to fund as a nonprofit, according to Altman. We didn't have a visceral sense of just how expensive this project was going to be, he said in an interview. Mr. Altman is the partner of Elon Musk in this OpenAI. That year, Mr. Altman said he looked into options to raise more money for OpenAI. Let me step back. Earlier in the article, Elon Musk joined this because it is going to be developed in the public eye as a nonprofit. It will not be hidden behind Microsoft or Google, and it will be made so that it doesn't become dangerous or secretive to the human race. So Elon thought, okay, I'm with you on that. We'll build AI in front of everyone, open source. We'll make sure that there's no secrets going on here, and no seriously dangerous AI can be built. So he was in for his billion-dollar company. But that year, Mr. Altman said he looked into options to raise more money for OpenAI, such as launching a new cryptocurrency. No one wanted to fund it in this way, he said, and it was really a hard time for us. Tensions also grew when Mr. Musk, who became frustrated with the slow progress and pushed for more control over the organization, people familiar with the matter said. OpenAI's executives ended up reviving an unusual idea that had been floated into the company earlier in the history of this company, creating a for-profit arm, OpenAI LP, that would report to the nonprofit parent. Now we're starting to bring in investors and make it public stock, which Elon did not want to see happen. OpenAI executive, Reid Hoffman, a LinkedIn co-founder, who advised OpenAI at the time and later served on AI's board, said the idea was to attract investors eager to make money from the commercial release of some of OpenAI's technology. Accelerating OpenAI's progress is what their plan was. You want to be there first. You want to be sitting in the norms. He said that's part of the reason why speed is a moral and ethical thing here. So what he's really trying to say is, I am going to start to bring in money, and I'm going to make money off of this, as well as do the AI. And I don't think Elon's going to be very happy with that. The decision further alienated Mr. Musk, the people familiar with the matter said. He parted ways with OpenAI in February of 2018. Mr. Musk announced his departure in a company, all hands former employees, at a company meeting, all hands on deck. Mr. Musk said that he thought he had a better chance at creating artificial intelligence, general intelligence, through Tesla, where he had access to greater resources. A young researcher questioned whether Mr. Musk had thought through the safety implications. The former employees said Mr. Musk grew visibly frustrated with him and called the intern a jackass, leaving the employee stunned. Soon after, OpenAI executive commissioned a jackass trophy for the young researcher, which was later presented to him on a pillow at a dinner. You got to have a little fun, Mr. Altman said. All right, so Mr. Musk's departure marked a turning point. Here's what starts to happen now. And don't worry, we're getting towards the meaty stuff. Later that year, OpenAI leaders told employees that Mr. Altman was set to lead the company. He formally became CEO, helped complete the creation of the for-profit subsidiary in 2019, the thing that made Musk leave. In the meantime, Mr. Altman began hunting for investors. His break came at Allen and Company's annual conference in Sun Valley, Idaho. In the summer of 2018, where he bumps into Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, in a stairwell while they're passing one another. He pitched him his OpenAI idea, and the conversations picked up again later that winter. I remember coming back to the team after it was a little like, this is the only partner. Mr. Altman said, it's the only partner we can find. Some employees still saw the deal as a Fortazen bargain. I think that's spelled wrong. It should be Faustian. F-A-U-S-T-I-A-N. I don't know what that word means. They spelled it wrong. OpenAI's lead safety researcher, Dario Amadea, and his lieutenants feared this deal would allow Microsoft to sell its products using powerful OpenAI technology before it was even put through any safety testing. He was also worried that the deal would tether OpenAI's ship to just one company, Microsoft, making it more difficult for OpenAI to stay true to its funding character and commitment to assist another project if the OpenAI AGI first, the former employees said. It's a little confusing there. Microsoft initially invested $1 billion in OpenAI. While the deal gave OpenAI its needed money, it came with a hitch: exclusivity. OpenAI agreed to use only Microsoft's giant computers, its Azure cloud, to train its AI models and to give the tech giant sole rights to license OpenAI's technology in the future. The cash turbocharged OpenAI's progress, giving researchers access to computing power needed to improve large language models, which were trained on billions of pages of publicly available text. And now it starts to get scary. If there's not more of this article, it gets good here. Mr. Amadeo left the company a few months later with several others to fund a rival company called AI Lab because they did not like the fact that Microsoft suddenly owned this company. Anthropic has since received more than $300 million from Google this year and has raised its own AI chatbot called Claude. More than 1 million users signed up for the GDP chatbot within 5 days of the November release. It followed the company's introduction to Dale E2. Now let's get to this part. I'm so sorry. I probably read you all the stuff that you didn't want to hear about. In this article, I'm reading about all the business and not about the scary AI technology they've come up with, which is really scary. Let me just find it. Sorry, I just want to get to the meat of this thing. It might actually be on some of the pages I didn't bring in. Come on. I gave it to my daughter and she was like, oh my God, this is so scary. Nope, I have to find the rest of this. I promise you, there is some really scary stuff that you need to read about. Oh yeah, okay. I think I found the side of the article I wanted to read to you. I was reading you all the business stuff, which was boring and you didn't need to hear about. But this is much better. Let me just Evelyn Wood speed read for a moment. All right, I'll start around here so that I don't have to read you some of the build-up to it. The most important feature of AI, which enables new kinds of research, says Mr. Kidd, in the same that makes possible AI chatbots like OpenAI, ChatGDP, Google's Bard, and Microsoft's Bing Chat. It is the capacity of modern computer systems to process a lot more data than ever in the past. It opens up a lot of possibilities. In her research, Tatiana Engel, an assistant professor of neuroscience at Princeton University, uses the same kind of networks of artificial neurons that are behind most of what we currently call artificial intelligence to interpret electrical signals of hundreds of neurons in the brains of animals. Dr. Engel and her team then go a step further. What you're going to find out at the end of this article is that They have figured out how to read our minds. I promise you. Wait until you hear the rest of this. They have learned how to read our minds. Now, they've been doing this to us for a while, and you guys have heard me complain numerous times that when I'm speaking about something or thinking about something, if I do anything near my computer and I type one letter, the sentence comes up that I'm thinking about or that I was talking to someone else about. Thank you, Cody. And I take multiple vitamins. I don't know if there's iron in there, but you got to get iron prescribed to you. Anyway, check out what they have come to do. This stuff is scary. Check this out. So as I was saying, in her research, Tatiana Engel, an assistant professor of neuroscience at Princeton University, uses the same kind of networks of artificial neurons that are behind most of what we currently call artificial intelligence to interrupt the electrical signals of hundreds of neurons in the brains of animals. Dr. Engel and her team then go a step further. They train networks of artificial neurons to perform the same tasks as the animal. Say a swimming worm. They find those artificial networks organize themselves in ways that reasonably approximate the way they're organized in a real animal. While neural networks in the brain are vastly complicated, the result of this stimulation is a model system that is both close enough to its biological equivalent and simple enough to teach us things about the real brain and how it works. One key insight this yields is the actual substance thought. The patterns that constitute the mind you're using to read this sentence is dynamic electrical activity in our brains rather than something physically anchored to a particular neuron. In other words, in contrast to what neuroscientists have always believed about how we make decisions, there are no eat the chocolate neurons, don't eat the chocolate neurons. All right, so she's starting to teach us. Thinking, it turns out it's just electrical signals zooming about inside of our heads, forming a complex code that is carried around by our neurons. What's more, AI is letting scientists listen in and interpret the things that happen in our brains while we're not doing anything. This allows us to discover the brain's internal life. Do androids dream of electric sheep? Well, we don't know that yet, but we may soon be able to determine whether humans are thinking about a real thing or whether they're dreaming. If Research Lab, owned by Meta Platforms, Facebook parent company, is figuring out how to read your mind, if that makes you uncomfortable, you're probably not going to be a fan of what the rest of the 21st century has in store. Now, meta scientists use data on brain signals gathered by researchers at universities, which was captured from humans who are listening to words and phrases while sitting in a non-invasive brain scanner. Those scanners came in two varieties. One was sort of electrodes embedded on a swim cap, which many people are familiar with, called an EEG, short for what's this one? Electroencephalogram. The other looks at the attempt to create world-crushing megabrain called the megalocephalogram. To analyze this data, researchers used a type of AI called self-supervised learning model, which can extract meaning from the giant pools of data without any instructions from humans at all. So now they've got AI bots that just look at data, no human tells it what to do, and it pulls from the data and creates a universe. But Andrew DeFosses, I guess his name is, it's got a little apostrophe above it, a scientist at Meta who was part of the team, conducted this research, says the goal of this work is to create a speech decoder that can directly transform our brain's activity from our thoughts into words. Imagine soon texting a friend just by thinking about them. Meta's aim is one more example of the way AI someday will give us the tools of improving our individual, collective, and well-being. But they will be able to take the neurons moving around in your brain and decode it into text and know what you are thinking. What do you think about that? They are going to be able to know what you're thinking. At least they think they know they've interpreted properly what you're thinking. When do we start getting arrested for having thoughts? There's a lot more. It gets a lot more intense. I don't want to keep boring you with this, but I read 3 or 4 pages of this and I was in awe of what they've come up with. I'm like, wow, this is really deep. They have AI computers that will listen to your brain, interpret the signals, come back and say what you're thinking with real high level of accuracy. How about that?
How does that work? Is it like a chip or something you sign up with? Or
No, you have neurons. You have electrons and neurons flying around in your brain, which we always thought were different types of signals and patterns. Now that we realize they're just electrical impulse signals, they can be read. And AI is figuring out how to read them. Wow. I wonder if you think about if a light's yellow and you think about running it, if somebody speaks to you out of your radio, don't you even think about it. Slow down that car. This is scary, kids. I mean, well, sure, Alexa's been listening to you guys all along, but this is AI that can understand what you're thinking before you verbally speak it. In other words, they can read your mind. They can read the impulses bouncing around in your brain. Wow. Haven't we seen movies like this?
I would imagine it probably wouldn't go over well if every single human now knows that everything they think of is being recorded.
How do you not think of stuff on purpose so that you don't get caught thinking? How do you do that?
What do you mean?
Well, if you know they know what you're thinking, how do you not think of stuff that might make them mad? How do you get around not thinking of stuff?
Well, I'm sure there's probably going to be rules and laws where if you didn't actually do anything, there's nothing they can do about it.
And how do they stop your dreams, which go crazy, from scaring them to think that you're going to wake up and do something?
I would just have to help the science behind dreams that show that it's nothing to worry about.
I am going to sleep with my head in a fish tank. They'll never be able to read my impulses.
How far away in the future?
I don't think they can do technical analysis like me yet. But if they know what I'm... Well, here's the beauty of it. They never will, because I don't think when I do analysis. I swear I don't. Here's proof. That's perfect. You're right. If they're reading my mind when I do analysis, all they're going to hear are words to songs. So in my back pocket, where it resides every moment of my life until the day comes to an end, or I need to refer to it, is analysis. But when I write this stuff, I don't even know what I'm writing. I mean, it's just sloppy and messy, and I've got to go over it with other markers to even figure out what it is I wrote. I just scribble stuff that I don't know where it comes from, right? And I go into a trance and listen to my music. I mean, it's always a big mess. So let them try to figure that one out. You find me an AI guy that can figure that one out. I want to meet that chap out. We can try. I have a tinfoil hat, you know. I made one last time. Last time we had mind readers coming around us. I did my videos in a tinfoil hat. Yeah, that's true. But you can't do anything else because you can think the opposite to trick them. But then if you try to do the right thing, you'll be thinking about it. So you got to have someone else do it for you while you just continue to think the opposite. We could trick them into thinking we're selling when we're buying and stuff like that. I'll think sell. You guys know it's a buy. You go out there and buy. We'll trick them like crazy. Do you really think that they need AI to read what we're doing? Hey, wait. Don't forget, We all own these devices, right? They don't need anything but this. They know everything about you. Everything, I promise. Everything. You wrote something sentimental to your honey? They know all about it. They know about everything. You wrote something sentimental to her sister? They know about that too, I promise. There's more good stuff that I read this weekend. From email printers... From email to printers, here are 5 tips to fend off hackers. Some of these are simple, some of these you should know, but you guys should be aware of some of this. One of the first steps I recommend, make sure your inbox is locked down. Here are steps if you notice or suspect any unusual logins. Log into email, then go to your account or security settings. You'll find an option that allows you to view your recent login activity or login history. It will be labeled something like recent activity, security, or login history. Here's a pro tip. Make sure you use Gmail. Click the details link next to the last account activity page at the bottom of the Gmail page. Review the list of recent logins. If you see anything that's not one of your devices, you need to change your password immediately. All right, so a simple one, right? We all kind of know that. If you don't know that, you should. Number 2, make sure your printer isn't hacked. Now, most people don't think about this one. Like your computer, your printer is a goldmine for hackers. Why? Printers often store copies of the docs that you have printed. Any criminal could get copies of sensitive information like your financial records. Here are 3 signs your printer's been hacked. 1, your printer starts printing blank pages or pages with just a bunch of characters that don't mean anything. You notice print jobs you did not initiate in your printer spool. 3, your printer's settings have changed and it wasn't you. What should you do? This is simple. Unplug the printer, press and hold its reset button. While holding the reset button, plug the printer back in, turn it on, and hold it down for 20 seconds. That'll clear out anything that's in the cache from the memory or any of the chips. Then there's a number 3. There's a hidden location tracker on your iPhone. Now, anyone that's ever had a phone stolen, listen to these next few ones. This is so sharp. There's a hidden location tracker on your iPhone. I recommend you look through the location settings on your phone. That will go a long way in shutting down a lot of GPS tracking that goes on. But you can't just stop there. What does your phone tell you? How long it'll take to get... What your phone does tell you is how long it'll take to get to the office, or it knows your ETA to the grocery store when you get in your car for a Saturday morning errand. That's part of called significant locations. Apple says this feature exists so your phone can learn places significant to you and provide personalized services like traffic routing and better photo memories. You should get rid of it. Here's how to access it and shut it down. Then I won't go through the steps, but what you should do is if you have significant locations turned on your iPhone, turn it off. Now here's what I really liked. You can wipe out your phone if you lose it and someone else gets it from you. The very idea of your phone being in someone else's hands is creepy. No doubt, right? Imagine a stranger rifling through your photos, video apps, and conversations, and your browser apps. So what if your phone goes missing? Can you take a step to protect your info even if you never get the phone back? You can remotely erase your iPhone. And then there's steps how to do it. Open this, blah, 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 go there, and erase your iPhone. If you have an Android, you can sign into your Google account, select lost phone. You'll get an information on its location. When prompted, select enable lock and erase. Select erase and device will be wiped out. How cool is that? Where am I reading from? This happens to be a USA Today paper.
Does that wipe out all the data that's in it, or just the phone itself?
It'll wipe out your phone. Well, that's what you want, Mike. Somebody else gets your phone, you don't want them having anything, right? You want to go blank phone.
So would it wipe out your Apple store with Apple?
No, just the device itself. Yeah. This so
Some more.
apps are desperate for the share. So apps are desperate for you to share your juicy details. Social media companies are dying to get their hands on your contact, birthdays, pictures, full names, email addresses, and more. They tell you it's a handy tool to find your friends, but your friends' info isn't yours to give away. That's their own to decide where to share. From your address book, companies also build so-called shadow profiles. They can learn a ton from those people you know, even if they're not using the same platforms. This is sneaky stuff. You can make a difference. Never give apps access to your phone's contacts. Review which apps do have access and turn it off. Always pay attention and always pay attention and stop sharing info. Oh, okay, that's stupid. Even your phone number is powerful in the wrong hands. Then they go on to say that if you think leaving your Bluetooth on 24 hours a day is not inviting you to just have your stuff stolen, you have no idea how the hackers work. Turn off your Bluetooth unless you are engaged at that moment in time. When you unengage, turn your Bluetooth back off. Mikey, how long have you heard me tell you that? Never keep that stuff on. Especially in airports, you keep everything turned off except for the phone itself.
I feel like we sadly now at this, like in 2023, we live in the day and age where whether it's on or off, they'll get it if they want it.
Yeah, but you shouldn't make it easy.
Oh, of course not. I always do.
At least, you know what I mean? At least go down with your boots on. Go down kicking and screaming. Don't just let them have it. Yeah. All right. Killing some time because the markets are just sort of dead here. Dead in the water. You know, I think I'm just going to sit here and do this because I've got all my buddies in my trading room, but, sometimes it gets a little bit quiet for me and no one speaks, and I'm sitting here for several hours, a little bit of speaking. They're all there, but, everyone's concentrating on markets, so I thought I'd make the crowd a little bigger so it's a little less boring for me. Because, I spend a lot of my life doing this, and sure sign of a crazy person is when you see somebody type to themselves 57 sentences in a row and still typing to themselves. So, and I get my OMNIX to hear that, I love them, they love me, but sometimes they're doing other stuff. So I just thought I'd bring in a few more people to chat with and hang out with while I live my life doing this. So in one trade only, we didn't get filled on the buy in Russell, which would have been a killer buy. We didn't get filled on the buy in S&P, which was another killer buy. We almost got filled in Russell. We did get filled in NASDAQ, which was in our favor for, 70 points, 60 points. And then it's against us right now for 30, 40 points. So 35 points, it hasn't done anything. So, of course, as we get a little bit closer to the afternoon, later afternoon, something's going to give. You've got Dow up 238, trading down 255. Something's going to give. You know what I'm saying? It's quite the tug-of-war going on there. Something's going to have to happen. Anytime, James. So, NOC and LMT are up. So what do you mean by not a good sign for peace, Dano? Besides their being stocks that are, of course, involved in making weapons and such, which I don't know if those are because I don't really know those stocks that well. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. I understood that from your sentence. The whole world's gearing up, so military contractors are probably going to do good right now. I mean, Japan's got to build a military. Germany's got to build a military. If you are a country on this planet and you're not building a military right now, you're not watching out for China. Got to build a military. Weird, right? We're back to that again. Didn't you think after the Russian Cold War we'd all become too intelligent for this to happen all over again? I did. I thought we would have maturely outgrown the thought of another world war. But here we are. Either learn to speak Chinese or build an army. You got one or the other. You better do something. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that China's looking for a military conflict with anybody. But they're getting bigger and more populated, and they're starting to flex their muscles in more places. And now they just made deals with Saudi Arabia and Iran. You know, they're marching along. But there are countries that I think are worried that they might have a military problem. I don't think the U.S. has that worry with China. We're not looking for that. We're looking to make money, not destroy it. But there are smaller countries, I won't mention their names, that hover around China that might be a little bit worried right now. Yeah, it's interesting how we elect them to the top hooligans, so it starts with us. You do realize that, right? Well, I don't know about this last election. I don't know what happened there. It was so bizarre. I don't know if it was right, wrong. I don't really care. On to the future. But we do elect these people, hooligan. Right? And then if they turn out to be crazy, it's sort of our fault, right? We put them in, they do crazy things. Kind of our fault on that one. Evil circle we go in. Crude stays above 80. It's like 80.46. You know, when it opened with that gap, you would have thought traders would come in and hammer it. Sabo, what's my opinion on the dollar? But instead of them hammering it, they just sort of kept it here. China or Russia? Well, you know, Russia's kind of old news. It's China, really. I mean, our government goes Russia, Russia, Russia. Look over there, but the reality is, it's China. That's the big gorilla now. Not gorilla, but that's whatever. I don't know if Russia was the bear. Now China's the bear. Whatever you want to call it. As far as who would be competing with the U.S. Who knows where that's going to go? All I know is when my kids were going into junior high school, I asked all of them if they'd be crazy enough to take Chinese classes, because one day in the future, if you can't speak Chinese, you probably won't. You'll probably need to do big business in our country. So if you can speak just a few sentences, they will appreciate you. And I think, Mikey, you took Chinese, right?
Yeah, 1 year.
Olivia took Chinese, but then her instructor got arrested and deported for not having the proper paperwork, and the class was canceled. What's my drink? Dior? Diet Pepsi, baby. This is the healthiest product on the planet. I stand by it. So, Sabo, are you watching the... Sabo, if you can hear me. Mikey, in the trading room, ask Sabo if he's watching the YouTube or the live stream.
Hold on a quick second. I'll let him know earlier about it.
What's my opinion on the dollar
spoke
reserve
earlier
currency?
in the YouTube.
Okay, then. The dollar is going to stay the reserve currency. Well, my question to that is this. If you're not from the U.S. and you're not Russia, Brazil, Iran, or China, would you want to trust your funds, your sovereign funds, your country's capital? Would you want to trust it in the hands of U.S. dollars, or would you want to put it in the hands of those four? That's basically what you have to ponder. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going away anytime soon, Sabo. If I was the ruler of a small country in Africa, I would not be putting my country's sovereign funds in the hands of Russia, Brazil, Iran, and China. I mean, if I had to choose the United States, I don't know that I'd put the money over here when I have over here to put it, you know. But that's me. And the reason is that you can look back at track records. I'm a guy that looks at patterns to figure out future possibilities. The pattern is that if you put your sovereign funds in U.S. government bonds or anything like that, you will get paid back by the U.S. government 100% of the time since the country started. I don't know that you can say that about the other countries. You know what I'm saying? We have a 100% track record. You do not have to worry. Your money will be safe. Does Iran, Brazil, Russia, China, do they have that reputation? Saturday Night Live, huh? Coke, no Pepsi. I remember the day as well. So I think we will stay the reserve currency for quite some time. Well, of course, unless our government passes a bill that says we're now going to start using the yuan or the renminbi because that's what the U.S. likes better. Could happen. Anything could happen. But until that happens, I think the dollar will stay strong. Oh, yeah, that was only good for a little while. Is it at 20 right now? Where is it? I moved it down out of my eyesight so I didn't have to see it. Where are we? How far down did I put it? It's not there. Where are you, Mr. Hubs? I'll just put it in somewhere else. We'll do right here. $17. What's the status on Bitcoin? What's not to love about Bitcoin? Oh, I get to change this. Another month has passed. So it might have its ups and downs, but look at the shape of this blue channel compared to the rest of its life for the last long time. You had the opposite stuff going on, right? You had this, wrong direction. And it finally corrected itself, and now we're going in the right direction. Pretty cool, right? You know who else? This guy. I've been talking about this since the bottom. You can ask anyone that's been watching my webinars that know me in the trading room. Check this one out. This is going to take over the whole world. You guys, if you're not paying attention, I'll show it to you on chart. This, I literally have webinars, live webinars for Metastock and the Trader's Corner, I think it's called, where I said, look at Metastock trying to make a stand right here. I started to talk about bottom being in, some kind of V, put it in a few webinars. Look at what has happened since. Facebook is just going. This is a monstrous company that is a huge component to the stock market and will be the platform that everyone else that builds on the metaverse will be building off of Meta's metaverse. From what I can see. I think this chart tells you all of that. And where's that 200 bar moving average? Let's put the 50 on there too, just to see where that's heading. Look at that, Golden Cross. 2 questions? Let me find my chat room. So we just looked at Bitcoin, but it brought me to Meta because I want to finish this, and then I'll look at Alta in a moment. Keep me on that, Mikey. So this guy has spent a lot of time in the wrong direction as well, if you recall. Look at that monstrous fall from grace. Goodbye, Facebook, right? Oh no, it's going out of business. But I kid you not, it is not. It just needed to reach equilibrium. And I think that we're building a company called Technotainment Streaming Media, which is we're going to start speaking more about shortly. I think you guys are going to love this. It's all about blockchain, streaming media, you having channels, all kinds of great stuff, being paid to be on our network. But my point is, what we would like to get Technotainment Streaming Media to sound like to the average person is, if you need to blow your nose, what do you reach for? A Kleenex, right? But is it a Kleenex? No, it's a tissue. But in our minds, the first thing you think is Kleenex when you think about a tissue. Well, we want people to be thinking technotainment when they're thinking about putting out music, putting out a video, doing something online, an NFT, watching channels. Same thing Metaverse is going to do. When you think the Metaverse, you will see it will be Meta. Facebook, which is why he changed the name to Meta, which was brilliant when he did it. Didn't seem that way. You will think Meta before you think of all the other products that mean Metaverse. And, you know, Kleenex does it with tissues. TSM hopefully will do it with streaming data. And Facebook will do it with the Metaverse. That is what's happening right now. I've been following this closely. I promise you, this is going to be huge, huge big. My thoughts on Alta. Xerox, boy. Xerox sure did make a turnaround, didn't it, Alta, in its life? What's Alta look like? No data. How about that? What else did you guys want to look at? Xerox. Apple. So we did, ALTA. Gotcha, ULTA. All right. I'll do that. And then we did do Apple. Maybe I'll get a chance to go back to that. ULTA. Still? I don't think there's ever been a time I've looked at this stock that it wasn't going up. Look, almost any time you look at this thing, it's in the up direction, right? Except for here. I mean, how long ago was that? 2020. Barring 2020 COVID, it's always going up, this stock. Fund managers must be in love with this stock. This is Ulta Beauty, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, you broke out of a nice channel, which could have been construed as a flag. You're building a new channel. I mean, how could you not love this? Do I need to offer an opinion on this stock? Not really, right? I don't need to say anything about this. What would you do with something like this? I don't think you need my help on this one. So if you need help on a buy point, that's a different story. Jesus, you need quite the pullback for a buy point. All right, so let's get closer up. If you were literally trading this stock, somebody asked me, what about a pullback, a buy point? You see this little channel it just broke out of? You'd have to wait for it to get like back to this channel. Literally to buy it again. You'd have to wait for it to come back here and test, and then you can buy it again. Well, you just jump in, right? If you're looking for a pullback, your pullback would be in the 520 area. So, yeah, I would look for something like that. I mean, it's starting to build a channel in this direction, but if it pulls back like it does from time to time, when it finally falls out of a channel and it does its pullback, it's when you get your chance to get in, right? So if it does some kind of a channel here and does its pullback, hopefully it pulls back to the last support level and you try to jump in. For day trading, that'd be a different story. I was giving you a swing style approach. No worries. My pleasure. Grains are going to close. No big deal. I thought we had an alert going off for a moment. So I give out recommendations each day here when we're going to get in and out of the market. I don't know if a lot of you know that. Most times we do pretty well. Some days we donate back to the system, the way life works here. So if you guys are having trouble trading and you need Rex or something, you can speak to Dano in the room, ask me, Mikey, whoever. We'll try to help you out with that. Gold, 1984. I can see that, Jay, pulling back to somewhere. You know, I don't know, though. 520 is a support area. I read an article saying many traders are confused between First Republic Bank and First Republic Bank Corp. Oh, I'll bet that must be a nightmare for them right now, huh? Well, one of them's in trouble, one of them isn't. What a nightmare that must be. That's sort of like... Let's see if I can recall the story during the dot-com bubble. Some pizza shop, if I remember right, on Long Island added blockchain to their name or their symbol, and it somehow got confused with... Oh, no. It's sort of a situation like that, but it's been so long I can't remember the symbols. But a store that was almost out of business decided to throw .com or blockchain, I forgot what they put in there, on their sign as the name of their company, and by accident it went haywire on the stock exchange. It got confused with another stock of almost the same symbol. And I think it went to like a $20 million valuation overnight, and it was worth almost nothing when that day started. Sort of like that. Sometimes you get lucky, right? People look at the wrong symbol. So, being that you said that, that's why my badge is Oscar. Because on a trading floor, if you mix up the symbol, the guy's badge name, if you mix up his name with another guy's name, it's a big problem. There's money that's going to be lost somewhere. So I researched the roster of all the thousands of brokers that have ever made names or badges on the exchange, and not one of them started with the letter O. And I adopted Oscar from that day forward. That's how I became Oscar. Stopped me from having outs on the trading floor. You must be lying if you claimed you traded with any other badge that starts with O, and if you didn't trade with me, you're a liar. It made it easy for me. Danino. You talking about Danino's Pizzeria? Oh my God, that was the best. You know what? They had the best fried galmad in the world. We used to get there. Wasn't as good last time I went back, I will admit. All right, so what else is there? Time check, 2:10. They're still good? Mike, so when's the last time I took you to Danino's? How many years ago?
Um,
Last time we were back there, maybe? A couple of years ago?
It's it was last time we were back there. That was at least 2 years ago. The time before that, I think, was like 4 or 5.
It's probably been that long. Yeah, that was always good, and it was thin too, which is yummy. So, Technotainment, streaming media. We have a mission statement. Dun, dun, dun. It's framed, baby. This is going to be cool. I don't really talk about it much, and I'm just throwing it out there now because we're killing hours, but we'll be making some big announcements. Next, what's it, Mike? 12th and the 12th through the 14th, we're doing a show in New York City, NFT show, where we're going to start to formally announce this company. Technotainment streaming media is revolutionizing the media industry by shifting passive viewers into active participants in the media experience. By using blockchain and AI technology, users will be rewarded for their engagement and have access to a comprehensive platform that offers multiple revenue streams such as ads, subscriptions, games, e-commerce. With an ecosystem that rewards users for their time spent engaging, Technotainment is basically, and it's beyond, but it's a fusion of Netflix, Amazon, Facebook, an app store, YouTube, and games all in one, where users can customize their packages to their preferences. But what it's mainly going to be made for is so that instead of us bouncing around on the internet and moving Facebook's ads and YouTube's ads and being slaves to these jerks that get paid by huge advertisers and give us nothing, and we spend our lives moving this stuff around, getting paid nothing for it. We are going to pay you guys. If anything comes by you, you're online, you get paid for it. You produce something, you get paid for it. An ad goes through and you have to see it, you get paid for it. This is nonsense the way that doesn't happen right now. One of our goals, we aim to fix that issue. An Oscar hologram. So I want to build I want to have a hologram life size, if I could. So I could do a live webinar on a stage, even if I'm not there. It's also part of what we're talking about at Technotainment. In fact, we have a magician who's already experimenting and doing that such thing. He put himself on four stages at once in holograms and presented, and you're able to hear each and every arena separately. So you can tune in and listen to them and answer questions and sort of run the show for everybody at once. How cool is that? So, Technotainment streaming media, you will hear from us, I promise. It's coming soon. I've been in this business for 41 and a half, somewhere near 42 years. Being that I was on Wall Street, I have been handed every PPM, every idea, we're going public, would you like to be part of it? Here's some stock. Oscar, I got an idea, I need investors. I have said the same thing to everyone I've ever met in my 41 plus years. Get out of here. What are you, crazy with that stupid idea? No thanks. I'll make sure I get to the finish line on my own. I don't need to team up with you and end up broke, in jail, whatever. You know what I mean? I have said no to anyone's plans to bring me into a company my entire career. And Technotainment was the first time I decided to step in. The first time I decided to say yes. And I am in full force, 100% building this company. At some point, it will go public. We're working on a PPM right now. We'll just bring in some private money. And then at some point, we'll allow you to convert that to preferred stock. But, there's a reason why. If you guys are listening, I won't type any of this, but there's a reason why I'm doing this. I found by accident, made a really good friend with a great guy. We hit it off the day we met. We like the same sort of the same conversation. You know, we like the same music. We have the same approach to life. Well, you know, neither of us are, you know, you can't insult us with a stupid comment. If we hear someone standing next to us talking about something that other people get insulted by, you know, we're not the type. We sort of meld well together. So we become friends, and I show him what I do, and he doesn't really tell me much about what he does. And eventually, after us becoming friends, and we go out a couple times and move him into a building that I'm partners with, I look him up and I find out that I've already agreed to do business with him. I swear to you, I had no idea who he was. I looked him up, and it turned out that he created Nickelodeon, or was one of the spearheads who created Nickelodeon. And you dig deeper, he also created MTV. He did the pay-per-view channels. He created how to start doing pay-per-views. Country music television. I kid you not. And I'm reading his resume and I'm going, oh, this couldn't be possible. Could I actually be friends with this guy? Wait, he's living in my house. Oh my God. I'm like, I didn't know who he was. I think that's why we got along so well. I had no clue who the guy was. We were already friends and we were already doing stuff together. And then I finally found out who he was. But I have to say, my goodness, what a guy. He's got the most insane qualities that you'd always expect from anyone who creates. You know what I mean? So the great things that he creates. So basically what he did was, when cable started to show its ugly head, he went, what on earth is this new medium? And decided he's seen an open lane and drove down that lane, and Nickelodeon was born. He saw another opportunity and drove down that lane and created MTV. Now we have an MTV. And he continued to do that until I think he basically exhausted what he thought were opportunities in cable and satellite. And he went into retirement. Well, years have passed, and this crazy thing called blockchain has come out. And that has pulled him out of retirement, and he's gone and studied all over the world and all over the country and found the best place to build this will be Las Vegas. Relocated himself to Vegas, ran into me, and he's deciding he's going down another lane, and I am jumping on that bus with him, I promise. I am in with this guy. Now, if you're going to get in with anyone, you might as well get in with someone who can prove they can build great things and move on to others. All right, so somebody like that I'm going to take seriously. And the fact that he came out of retirement, rolled up his sleeves, and said, I'm going to work, and this guy works like an animal 20 hours a day, and he doesn't need to, love him to death. So we're going to build something very nice for you guys. None of this I have made up, and nor have I exaggerated. It just is what it is. Anyways, great guy to be around. Somebody that you learn from constantly, you know. Knows how to make a small moment into a really exciting event. It's very good. Oh, look him up, man. Are you kidding me? Why would I lie to you about this? I don't lie about anything ever. Ask anybody who knows me. It's just not, you can't live your life as a liar. You know, when you lie, you start, it's like a spider said they got a web, and those lies just get into more lies and worse, and you don't know who you lied to and what you lied about, and you run into someone and you can't remember what you said. It's all BS. Don't ever be a liar. It's the worst thing in the world you can be. It's a medical proven fact. You know what? You can remember the truth every single time someone asks you about the truth. You can spit it right out. You may embellish a little. The truth comes right to memory. You don't even have to think about it. You know what you can't remember? Lies. Nobody can remember lies. So you don't know who you lied to, what you lied about. As time passes, lying is just bad. So, the other thing is, if you lie, you can't trade. You just can't. You can't be a trader. If you lie to yourself and you lie to others, I promise you that this thing right here we're looking at, don't ever attempt it ever. If you're not honest with yourself, which first thing is you got to be honest with other people, otherwise forget that. You will just be the worst trader in the world. You will always make up crazy excuses for why you won or lost, and you'll actually believe yourself. Oh, my aunt was sick today. That's why I lost. They went after my stop. You'll come up with anything to rationalize your craziness. So, ever read the new thing? No, I have not. I seen it sitting on a bookshelf. Mike, is that in Niall's office, sitting on a bookshelf? The new thing? I could swear I seen it there. I don't know for sure.
Huh. I don't want to give you an answer and be wrong, so I'm not.
It isn't a lie if you believe it yourself, except for that now you're living in a fantasy land. Now, Josh, see what you said? There is an exception to when I would lie. I tell my kids, I've always told my kids, never lie. The truth will set you free. Unless you're standing in front of a judge, then lie through your teeth, baby. Whatever it takes, but believe in the story. If you're going to lie, believe in your lie at that moment in time. You're allowed to lie in front of a judge as far as I'm concerned. It's going to get you out of trouble? Deny, deny, deny. Barring that, you should never be a liar in your life. It's really bad, ugly web. I have a pretty good life. I don't lie. Living proof karma comes back the right way. Besides, when you sit on camera and microphone like this, everyone remembers everything you said. You've got to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be consistent. And anybody ever catch me in a lie as long as you've been watching this channel for 15 years? Anyone ever? You ever see me deny a losing trade, pretend I won when I lost? You ever see any of that nonsense? Ever? Now, anyone who can say yes, don't type that in the chat room. I don't want the public to know the truth. You know, I've had some epic typos. I am the typo king, by the way. Not with numbers, but with words. Oh, boy. I am the typo king. I've had epic typos that have made the screen disappear. Launched like a program behind I didn't even know I was doing. Well, that's nice to hear, Josh. Every successful person is consistent. Well, I would 1,000% agree with you on that. Me, I got a pretty consistent approach to what I do every day of my life. Every Sunday, you'll see me study for 8-9 hours before I even look at charts. I mean, every night I do the same, not in a routine. I'm consistent with my approach. I don't really like routines, though. You know what? If you're not consistent in your approach, you never find like that equilibrium with the style you have and the market. You guys will never come together if you don't stay consistent every day and show the market the same look every day. How's pizza in Vegas? Well, my wife makes it. It's not bad. When you go to the pizzeria and buy it, you know, a lot to be desired. So there is something that's happened since we moved here. When we got to Vegas, basically you can tell when you ate at restaurants that the goal of the restaurant was to know you're never coming back, you're here once, and we don't care how much we charge you for the crap you just ate. And the price is going to be here, and it's going to be crap. And that was basically Vegas restaurants when we moved here 15 years ago. I have to say, leading into and since COVID, they have stepped up their game in restaurants in this town. I'm actually starting to go into places and go, wow, this food's good. Who are they making this for? People that might come back another time? Because think about it. If you've got people that are never coming back, doesn't matter what you serve them. They're paying the bill. They're on vacation. They don't care. You never see them again. You serve them slop for $90 a plate. And that was sort of a weird mentality, without being said, that was going on in these restaurants. But boy, has that changed, because I could actually name probably 2 pizzerias right now that if I had to stop and eat their pizza, it's not bad. 0 before then. and then we have had one for a while. There are probably 10 restaurants I could tell you about right now that will be the best restaurants you've ever eaten at. I couldn't name 3 of them when I first moved here. Things are getting better, for sure. They finally stepped up their food game here. All right, we might have to take a look at something real fast. But where would I find it? Where's my chat room? Oh, here it is. Grimaldi's? Yeah, Grimaldi's isn't bad. Right, Mikey? We go there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Okay, just give me 1 second, Mikey. Where is that? Quiet down, son. Don't lose your head now. Hey kids, I just sent you a flash update. It's up to you if you want to do this, but it's the right move. All right, so what I did basically was tell my Omniacs, you know, I'll just be straight with the trade now. Wanted to get in between 13,190 and 13,185. 13,190, 13,185 is where Omni wanted me in. Last night we got blessed and got in at 13,200 was the low of the night, and it took off for 70 points. But it didn't hit the Omni profit objective. It missed it by 4 ticks. So it came all the way back down. We're sitting at 131.85. I just want out. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get back out. Enough with this nonsense. We'll pick up on this again tonight. Now, generally, I never do that. I will stay with the trade all the way till the close. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with just scratching a trade near break even on a day like today, where it's basically we had our profit in it. We didn't get it. It's been against us ever since we didn't take the profit. You know what I mean? Not a bad moment to go, all right, now we can get out without getting hurt. We'll take a look at that again tonight. So normally, though, I just stick around till either the stop gets hit, the profit objective gets hit, or the close happens. But in this case, the profit objective did kind of get hit. It was just missed by 4 ticks in NASDAQ on the way up. So I'm going to decide to say we're done here. And I sent the flash update to tell everybody that. Okay, kids, now could very well rally up and have a massive afternoon. We'll deal with that tonight if that's the case, but I think I've had enough for one day. I will certainly go there. I'm not going to present there. Well, you never know what will happen, because I'm actually going to be in New York City doing an NFT show right around that same time. But there will be enough time to come back here and visit the Traders Expo, so I will be there.
We have another question.
Cento I have seen. Scalafani I have seen. I'm not sure if the Cucina we've seen or not.
Yeah, I recognize the first two, but I don't know what the rest.
Yeah, I don't recognize the third one. Yeah, I heard McDonald's closed their offices as they prepared for layoffs, Dano. I was watching that earlier today. They're like, I think it's a good idea for all the executives to go home. You know why? They're creating so many robots to take the jobs over. It's going to be an almost robotic fast food drive-through only environment soon, if you ask me. Pickup only, no eating in, robots only. Ain't bad. Well, it depends on what the 2 out of 3 are. If there are ways of you being executed, well then, all of them are bad. Well, what we have a local place that used to be a pizzeria / Italian deli on Staten Island, moved out to Vegas, opened their own place, and import the stuff in. So whatever you get in New York, we get here. It's a wonderful world. If you go to that store. What's the must order? Well, according to my kids, Spanish food. Right? What's the must order in this town, Mikey?
Yeah, I would probably say after Italian, which that might be just biased with us. It's either Mexican or sushi.
The Italian food here, certain restaurants are really good. Others, of course, have good names, but not good food. There are a few Italian restaurants you'll pay up, but boy, is the food good. All right, NASDAQ, don't be a jerk and rally now.
You're probably not wrong. Because the strip's super expensive, so Panda probably isn't all that bad.
Panda's nasty.
He was just saying the best bang for your buck.
Well, I can't say these markets look bad. I mean, you look at these charts, none of them scare you but the Russell. Everything else looks dandy. Russell looks nasty.
And good score allowances.
Well, that's an old. Let me take the ugly off there because that was from weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Because it's not ugly anymore. And then there's Tesla. What happened to Tesla today? Testing the line again, huh? All right, we'll let that test. Isn't that interesting? An afternoon rally coming. Yeah, that's what I was wondering what happened to Tesla today. They've been looking great. Today's one down day, but Tesla's looking good. All right, so maybe I was a little impatient there. It's reading my thoughts, huh? Yeah, you're right. The AI knew. I think, gotcha. Thank you for you put me in line there, Hooligan. Well, generally, I don't ever get out of anything, but I just had enough today. Enough. It's only Monday, right? It's only Monday. Is today Monday?
Yes.
No, it's only Monday. By the way, if any of you guys are watching that would like to join me when I'm not live streaming, I'm always live streaming, just not always on social network. Just go here. Look, it's pretty simple. Just go to livewithoscar.com. Either log in or register. Register is nothing. You fill out a couple of things, wait for an email. You'll get a verification code, put it back in, and you're right there on the site. Sometimes the mail goes to spam. You got to check your spam, but you'll receive something from us in a moment or two. And then literally, once you're in the site, you can just chat live with Oscar and let's hit log in. It should already be logged in. You just hit chat live with Oscar and it will literally put you on a page where you do one more click and you're in with me. And once you click that, you end up in this chat room where we're usually at when I am not streaming on YouTube. So anyway, if you want to hang out with me full time, very simple. Just go to Live with Oscar and create a membership. No credit cards, no nonsense there, kids. Just more company to hang out with during the day. Well, according to OMNI, everything was supposed to turn green today, right? I think all three of them, NASDAQ, Russell, and ES, was supposed to at least be green today. OMNI doesn't guarantee which way the day will end, but certainly said it would be green today. It is only 240. That's it, 240. All right, would you come back here for a moment, Mike? Just give me a few moments. I want to go over to your desk. Thank you. I want to go look at something. We'll change desks. Did I bring binoculars with me? Well, yes.
Hello there, Dano.
Tell Denny I said very good. Well done.
Well done, Danny. From Oscar.
Way to play that trade. Did a good job.
Way to play the trade, did a good job. How are you, Dano?
I need some likes if you get likes, Mikey. From what I understand, and I don't know why, in the last couple of, like the last 2 or 3 months, likes have become the new currency on social networking. So now all of a sudden it's about likes. I don't know why. So tell everybody to like our stuff. Be back in 1 second.
Same. I hear you. Yeah, it makes sense. I kind of figured that's what he was talking about too. You might be coming out to Vegas, you're saying? Well, that will be a fun trip then. That should be exciting. When isn't it exciting when you come to Vegas? Very nice. I still know that feeling. Well, yeah, you're right, Vic. You probably aren't winning if you go to casinos, but as long as you go with the intent to just have a little bit of fun and enjoy, then it's not bad. If you go with the intent of trying to win and trying to come home with a certain amount, that's when it's just going to be miserable. Yep, good rule of thumb. Exactly. That's the mentality. You got it. It is fun, you know, to play with your friends, sit at a table and stuff. But it is definitely strange if you've been like in the casino because you're going to different bars or maybe you have a convention there and you see the same people at a table for like an hour straight, then 2 hours, then 3 hours, and it's just crazy that people could sit there that long and play. But hell, as long as they can burn that money without it causing them any harm. But I would think you'd want to put in a little bit something smarter, like investing in real estate or something as opposed to the tables, but it is what it is. Yep, that too. I think about, depending on the limits, of course, $200 to $300 is probably. Very nice, Dano. Did you win or lose? But yeah, I think if you have like 200 or 300 to just play with and have fun with, as long as, you know, the buy-ins aren't a crazy amount, like as long as it's not 50 a buy-in, that's a good enough time to have some fun and either make some or lose some. You won playing 10 straight hours. Very nice, good for you. How much did you lose though? Yep, you'll even see the dealer switch even if it's not time, but then people keep winning and then of course a new dealer comes around. I bet. Could be that he's a counter. Who knows? Now that's understandable. If it was a blackjack table, I could see you being there for a while because you will win and then you'll lose and you'll win and you'll lose, and it'll kind of balance out if you're having a good day.
went crazy with the Gatorade.
Very nice.
I don't know if my body can handle it. So, I guess we're not starting a holiday reversal today, huh? But maybe they were starting one. I was getting worried. Yeah, I tried. I had to unscrew it to stop it from blinking.
Gotcha. I thought it was
No,
blinking because it wasn't.
can't let it do that. Well, unless it's turned, it might light up. There you go. Earlier it was blinking. I couldn't stop it. Well, at least we are. Oh, it's starting to go again, huh? Yeah. I think we have light bulbs inside. So, made it back to the 20s, huh? Damn. No reversal yet today. It's good. Nothing really moving. You know what's been impressive too? These guys, bonds. Check these guys out. Look at these bonds building flags, moving higher. You know, when bonds go up, interest rates go down. So if you look at this bond chart, that is building a flag, a big flag. And it's above the 50 ball moving average. You look. Look at that flag building. Something in here. I don't know where we want to position this, but some part of this is the flag, right? Or maybe we can kind of chop it up this way. Something's going on here. Whatever you want to call this, you got something nice happening right there. You know, there's something going on there. Let's hope it continues, because this is what we want to see. Because if this is some form of a bullish indication, we should have a nice pop to like the 137 area. Boom, somewhere up here. That would get us above these highs. All right, would get us above this mess right here. And send us into a into kind of a new wave of interest rates not going up anymore. So whether the Fed raises or lowers rates, it's got nothing to do with that. If this moves up, rates move down. Inherently, they have to. So whether Powell says a word, if those bonds keep moving up, rates will move down, because that's what happens when bonds move up. Look at the 10-year notes. Same thing going on with the 10-year notes, but a bit more volatile inside whatever this is, flag type thing going on. But it's looking better lately than it has in a while. We could use interest rates we can certainly use interest rates to move, the bonds move up and interest rates move down, no doubt, right? We want that. I know the Fed doesn't, but we do. And then this guy's still holding its own. Nice channel. We stayed inside that channel. Continue to move higher. You know, today is the first day of the week. We don't know what this ball will look like by the end of the week. There is the crazy possibility of the holiday reversal coming our way. Kind of had me worried today that it was going to start. But so far, no reversal. Well, I'm talking about a holiday reversal, which is sort of different than. It's sort of different than looking at a chart and trying to spot a reversal coming. It's just a phenomenon that seems to take place when we're leading into major holiday weekends. So I thought maybe that's what we were starting to see today, but it's gaining its sea legs slowly. There was also this. Let's go back and look at the chart again. Let's look at like the S&P chart. There was this. So, the quarter is coming to an end. The month is coming to an end. And somehow, if we don't get the market higher, our bonuses will be as large at the end of the year. And you get something like this taking place at the last 10 days of the last quarter, or the last month of the first quarter. Out of nowhere, you get this crazy rally, and then the last week of the last quarter, you get this. This could have just been strong window dressing. And then the holiday reversal comes in tomorrow or the next day, and boom, back down here we end up. You know, it's kind of what, not using charts, it's what I would expect if I wasn't using charts. The chart will tell me what to do tomorrow, and I'll just follow what Omni says. If I didn't have charts, I would think, all right, so they goosed it up nice and strong for the last week of the quarter. Nice and strong. All right, that's done. What do we do now? Well, I don't know. What do we do? We have a Fed meeting next month, and the quarter doesn't end for another 3 months. So the market can end up coming down for the first part of this quarter, like the first part of this quarter that just passed. Then move around, whatever, came all the way back down to about the same price, and then right at the end of the quarter, we went up. So that means we could be susceptible to the same sort of thing. Down a little for the first month of this quarter, mess around a bit into the second month, and by the end of the third month, we're up here somewhere. That very well could be what we're going to witness, unless this market is just strong on its own, not window dressing. It just is what it is, and that's real as as it looks. I mean, if it happened, it's real and it's right. But if it was window dressing, you'll see a holiday reversal come in, and we'll have a nice fat bar on the downside this week. If it was window dressing, if not, the holiday won't matter, and we will just go up all week long. So you're going to get one of those two. Now, being that this is a really big holiday, if we don't get a reversal, this is a worldwide 3-day weekend. If we don't get a reversal, that tells you ridiculous resilience in our stock market. Because this would be one of those holidays that if you would absolutely expect a reversal. It's as big as the Christmas season. You know what I mean? It's a big, big, big one. It's celebrated by just about every religion across the planet. It's not a U.S. holiday. It is huge. It's the Easter season, right? So it will should create some kind of a reversal for the holiday. If we don't see a reversal and this thing just goes up all week, wow, that will just be a total sign of insane strength. We shall see. Head and shoulders on what, Jay? Which market are you referring to? Well, look at you, NASDAQ, sticking your thumb in my nose like this right now. Jerk. Jay, what head and shoulders market are you referring to? What market is DC head and shoulders in? Yeah, there's definitely two chat rooms going on at the same time. This is bizarre. The ES graph, you see a head and shoulders. So let's see what you're looking at. Let's erase some of this stuff. So you're talking about, of course, right here, right? You thought I know what you're referring to, but I can straighten that out for you. So you're talking about this area, and then the top being this area. And of course the right shoulder, you can see now that I've put that together. You're talking about this one, right? What's the best way for me to illustrate what this means? Let me see if I could do something. I need a window. Let's try something. Dashboard. Let me just try and see if I could. Okay. If you would like to know whether that head and shoulders is a topping pattern, you need to watch both of these. These are videos I put out in February. So I'll put the links in here for you. This was the first one. And then backup proof would be this one. Let's go back to our search. This would be the second one. So if you see the date of these videos, let's see. That's not gonna work.
See you before.
You leaving, Mikey?
Oh, I'll see you before I leave.
Cool.
For now, just in the house.
What's this crazy stuff that needs to get out of my way? Why is that happening? Try that again, kids. All right, so I think if we look at this, yeah, the date is 2/7. So back in 2/7. Hey, Sultan, how are you? In those videos. So, interesting thing about what I called bottom is I had a lot of people get mad at me for that and are still mad at me for continuing to call for more upside. So, whatever, I'm just calling the charts. But look at that NASDAQ, you know? Not that I want to see a reversal, but I sure did think we were getting one. One moment, I was just sending a message out to my OMNIX, so they got a flash update. All right, send. All right, my view on gold. Gold, take a look at it. I think we have gold here. I showed this a little earlier, but gold is literally sitting in a very nice spot at the moment. Look at this. So it broke through the bottom and went right back up, and now it's at the top. Today, this happened. So that is a very bullish sign, if you ask me. And I don't think that the dollar going down helps much. I don't think this is going to help much. Right, you've got this on the opposite side. Then when dollars go down, it helps gold go up. Plus, gold's got a lot of attention on it at 2,000 to begin with. So you got to think gold bullish here, in my opinion. Very nice. So, got to give OMNI credit. It was right on the money again today. So with S&P, you know where we could have gotten in? Look how close we got to getting filled in S&P today as well, buying the dip. Analysis always in my back pocket. Check this out. All we needed to do is get there. 41.17 E-mini S&P. Let me white balance that. If you're looking in the camera, if we would have just gotten here, I could have gotten us into the E-mini S&P for today. That was our buy level, and then we would have probably added more, a little bit lower, so that we have caught the bottom scoop. But the low was 41.22. No fill there. We were looking for this in Russell 2000. We were going to buy him at 86 or lower. The low there was only 93.30. No fill there. But OMNI was right for buying the dips again today, huh? Pretty freaky. It's a freaky OMNI. I think, yes, I agree. Here's what I think about that. I agree that the metals look like they want to go higher for sure, and Bitcoin, except for that Bitcoin might reverse with the stock market if, and this is a big if there's a holiday reversal this week. If we get one of those crazy holiday reversals, I think Bitcoin reverses with it. If we don't get one, and we've seen this before, by the way, where you just go straight up through a holiday week and there's no reverse, we'll take it, We'll trade it every day. We'll see what happens. You're trying to get into XLF from the bottom, but afraid. I wouldn't be afraid to be in this market. I've called bottom, buddy. I called bottom in February. So the only one answer I could give you is buy the dips. You should have been in already is the only answer I could give you on that. So can the markets turn lower? Of course. But when I called bottom, it looked like we were right. We've been right, and it's been heading in that direction ever since. Well, if the dollar goes down and oil up, it means inflation and rates will have to rise. I have to agree with you 100%, which is why we're day traders, Paulo. I could have a bearish opinion by the close today if the markets flip, right? We have the freedom of the OMNI arrow flips every day. Or stays the same for 5 days in a row, or whatever we're going to get out of it. But it's a day trader, so we're not stuck in positions from yesterday and the market goes the wrong way. If it turns out we get inflation and rate hikes, all right, so we know how to go short. We'll trade the short side for a while. But all that thinking that you're doing is wonderful. I just let the chart do the thinking for me instead. So I get the fundamentals are there to make us think the market might do something, but too much thinking already. You have think and might and possible, and those are words you don't find on a chart. A chart is pretty reliable unless it just happens to not work on that occasion. For instance, I've made some really fantastic calls on these videos and in front of you guys and in my webinars, and you guys know who I am. But the crude was absolutely incorrect, right? My crude call, we were trading at about 70. And I said crude would get to 59 before it got to 76. It got to 76, then 81, never even went to 59. So it doesn't always work, but you've also, if you've been following me long enough, you've witnessed massive amounts of ridiculously accurate calls that do work way more often than the one or two that I'll get wrong when I make those big market calls, It's all charts, not me trying to decide what might happen next. Anyway, just thought I would share that with you. The less thinking you do, the more charting you do, I think the safer you become. Every fund manager that you can think of, Feb, March, and April, during Feb and March, were bearish as the day is long, calling for the end of the world, even during January, and that's not what we've seen so far. And they've got fantastic information to draw their opinions from. So, got to be careful choosing an opinion. I basically, if the chart doesn't say it, I don't have an opinion. Anyway, the chart has been calling for bottom for some time now. Let's see the NASDAQ has a green bar in now, right? Let's go look at it. Green bar NASDAQ. Oh, not yet. It's just about. What do you need? So we go up another 50 points. if you get a green bar NASDAQ, that's all systems go because almost everything else is green now. Yes, green bar. Russell, even though it's ugly chart, it's a green bar. No, it's not. Ah, it's red again. It was green earlier. Dow green. That Dow chart looks pretty interesting, huh? Some rally right there. Let's clean this chart up a little bit. What doesn't need to be on here? It's no longer resistance. It's now support. And it should be green. All right, so we're not in any trades. And we're not going to get in any more trades this late in the day. You know, I watch palladium and platinum, not uranium. What have I found to be more reliable? Oh, Hubs. Where are we right now in Hubs? Thank you, sir. I know I put it in front of my eyes, but the chat room's blocking it. 420, huh? Let's go look. All right. We'll take a look at that. So for Hubs, know, it's kind of right at break even or right near it. It's hovering within $1 of where we bought. Right, that's where it is last from what I see. And nothing in it today, guys. I thought we'd get a decent trade out of it. Let's see, we're at 420.40, 420.68. Not really much in it. I think we'll just exit that trade. I'm not going to stick with it overnight. If it was up $10, I'd stay with it. Yeah. Flash sent kids on hubs. And in the trading room, there's so many windows open. Yeah. All right, so almost feels like a Friday, doesn't it? It's weird. Feels like the end of the week. It's the beginning of a week. Thank you. I think we'll have a great week. The market's certainly been cooperating. All right, no change there. Where we go, huh? God, I'm itchy today. My face. Here, up here. Itchy today. Oh, my daughter put a mask on me last night. Ah, now I get it. Cause I'm kind of feeling... My daughter put a mud mask on me last night. Green one. I was wondering why I've been so itchy today. And when you're on camera, you can't just scratch your face. You know what I mean? You have to sort of not. And I'm like, oh, look at NASDAQ, you jerk. Love it. We want green. We want green. We want green. All right, kids, I think I'm going to turn this off for now. I've basically got nothing else to do until 5 p.m. Eastern, where I come back on and start doing my analysis. Oh, really, huh? Let's look at it. Slowly. Slowly. But yes, it is. All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back tonight and tomorrow. I'm here every single day. This is what I do. I sit at my screens and hang out with my Omniacs, and we get through these markets together. And I think you'll find a lot of times Omni is really interesting. It's a successful type of trader if you follow and you're very quick. So we'll see what this week brings for us. It should be a holiday reversal week. If not, even better. Lots of fun stuff coming at us. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will let you know as soon as I'm back on live again. I guess I have to tell you, stops are in, emotions are out. Put those stops in first, kids, and thank you for tuning in.